All right, Rabosai, good morning. Let us begin. So we are, Baruch Hashem, able to resume, at least for now, until the daf can get a little bit longer, some of Reb Tzaddik, and pick up a little bit in Tzidkas Hatzaddik. So we're actually going to skip forward a couple of osos to Os Pay, which I sent out on the WhatsApp last night. And again, I would strongly encourage you to purchase the Seif. It's such an important staple in one's library, and it's not the same learning from a Sefer than it is from learning from sheets or from WhatsApp. So again, if you can, it's kedai to do so. So with that, let's continue. Ospei. So Reb Tzaddik says as follows, and quite a beautiful idea. He says, Tikun lekaas shinui mokum. The reason I wanted to go ahead and fast forward a little bit to this particular os is because, you know, in the last topic we were talking about, we've spoken about a number of profound and important, like, philosophical tenets, and especially in the realm of growth from sin or growth from setback. Reb Tzaddik has given us some really profound ideas to focus on. So now what was gripping to me about this is Reb Tzaddik in this particular os ventures into the Olam Hamidos, about how to deal with negative character traits. And specifically what he's focusing on over here is how to deal with kas. Say a person has problems with anger. So how do you deal with anger? So it's interesting, because what says you've come to see Reb Tzaddik's style, which is a really incredible style, is he often says things in what sounds like very simple ways, but they're not simple ideas at all. So for example, Reb Tzaddik says, Tikun lakas. What is the way to remedy kas? What is the way to remedy anger? Shinui makom. Change your place. Change your place. Okay. What does that mean? See, he says actually quite. Say first of all, if you take a look at the Borei Hasidus, page Kuf Tzadik, the bottom left-hand column, Tikum lenefesh lemi shenechshal lakas. So the way to attacking, the way to rectify, the way to fix one's nefesh, if one has fallen prey to kas, hu ayidei shinui makom hakavualo, is to change your place, to change your makom kavua. Now again, Abba said this is going to mean many different things. He says ki'inyon kaparas galus. Now where do we find the concept of shinui makom, of changing your place, as being a form of kapara? So of course, Reb Tzaddik says the paradigmatic example of this, and he's going to get into this in just a moment, is galus. Right? A person accidentally kills another individual. Right? The rotzeach bishgaga. What's the halacha? You have to go to Gagos, you go to Ir Miklat, you go to the city of refuge. So before we get into Reb Tzaddik's idea over here, what he talks about Galus rotzeach, so just understand this concept of shinui makom is a very profound idea. You know, we often see shinui makom in what area of halacha? In avelos. Right? What's the halacha when a person becomes an avel? So one of the halachas is they have to change their makom kavua. Right? You have a place in shul, you have a place, and by the way, it's true with everything. You have a place where you daven every day. So you have to change that makom and sit somewhere else. What's the pshat? Like, why do you have to change your makom? So, again, the Gesher Chaim quotes different ideas. One of the ideas that he quotes is that when a person loses a loved one, it's almost like a form of din, a form of divine justice, and therefore a person literally goes into galus. Feels exiled. But I saw actually just a beautiful idea. I don't remember, I think it was in the Gesher Chaim as well, that when a person experiences the death of a loved one, it changes your outlook and orientation on the world. You don't see the world in the same way anymore. And it's an irreversible change. You know, when you have a makom kavua, so that fixes your orientation, right? Reuven's in front of me and Shimon's to the left of me, and there's a seder. Death often upsets the seder, but it resets a new seder. There's a new order. So I believe it's the Kesher Chaim who brings down that the other moves his seat to really highlight this new orientation and this new outlook into the world. So even before you enter Reb Tzaddik, I was very taken by this idea that the remedy for kas is shinui makom. Do you know how to deal with anger? How to deal with anger is to change your place, meaning to change your orientation. And both I think about it just a moment. Why do we get angry at things? more often than not, why do we get angry at things? Okay, I can only speak from personal experience, right? I get, I'm not making eye contact with that, right? You get angry at things because you have an expectation. I have an expectation as to how things are supposed to go. And when they don't go that way, I get angry. And I think, and it's true everywhere. It's true in career. It's true in family life. It's true. There's an expectation. People are supposed to behave a certain way. Things are supposed to go a certain way. And when they don't, I get angry. So first of all, the key is to realize that's called gaiva. That's called gaiva, right? To think that things are supposed to follow the plan that I have for them. To think that people are supposed to behave the way I expect them to behave. That my day is supposed to go the way I expect it to go. That my parnasa is supposed to unfold the way. So that's a shtickle gaiva, right? To think that I know how everything should unfold. That's number one. But even leaving that piece aside, because again, the truth is, the Sifrei Musar point out that anger really is a derivative of gaiva. That's really what it is. But again, what Hatzaddik is highlighting before we get into the gullus piece is often anger is a result of a skewed orientation. I see things a certain way, and that's the way I think they are supposed to go. So says Reb Tzaddik, what's the first remedy to gaiva? Shinui makom. Sometimes accept the fact that just because you see things a certain way, and you think that they should unfold a certain way, doesn't mean that they're supposed to unfold that way. And again, that's shinui makom. That's changing your seat. That's changing your place. That's changing your orientation. So Reb Tzaddik says, this is what's incredible about this piece. Is Reb Tzaddik says, tikun lakas shinui makom. So number one, you want to rectify kas, change your orientation. Stop assuming that you know how everyone's supposed to behave and speak and talk and do at any given point in time, how the day is supposed to unfold, how everything is supposed to fit into place. Shinui makom, change the orientation. And once I change the orientation, suddenly the kas, not that the kas necessarily goes away, but Reb Tzaddik says it's a tikkun lakas. Now the Rebbe goes on, he says something absolutely amazing over here. See, he says that the shinui makom, the changing of one's place, that is metaking kas, is like the shinui makom, like the changing of a place, changing of a geographic place, that a person who kills b'shogeg has to undergo as well. He says, V'zeh kimo she'amra Torah, on page Kuf Tzadik Aleph, in the Bi'urei Hasidus, shagalus hi atikin l'rotzeach b'shogeg. That galus, right? Literally exile. Right? Well, so again, you know the halacha. Hatikun l'rotzeach b'shogeg. So listen to this. So remember, Ruvain is climbing up a ladder. He accidentally falls off. The ladder falls onto Shimon, kills Shimon. Right? What's the halacha? He has to go to an ir miklat. He has to go to a city of refuge. That's the halacha. So Reb Tzaddik says, why is galus? So, we'll get to it. He says, Varetzicha ba'a machmas kas. He says, why does one person kill another person? So it's a result of kas. Now, what Reb Tzaddik is doing is taking a little bit of liberty over here and expanding the definition. Because remember, again, the classic case of why a person goes to galus is for an accidental act of bloodshed. Like I said, Reuben's walking up the ladder and he falls down. The truth is, in the Torah's example of galus, it's not really kas that really caused the death. Well, what caused the death? It was really negligence. It's really negligence. Because remember, again, halacha, if it's an ones, if it's extenuating circumstances, you don't have to go to galus. Really, a person goes to galus because of negligence. But Reb Tzaddik is saying, but let's drill down. Let's drill down. Why does one person take the life of another person? So Reb Tzaddik says, Aretzicha ba'a machmas kas. A person takes the life of another person because their kas got out of hand. Their kas just simply was unchecked. And if you take a look, by the way, in footnote Shin Mem Ches, he writes, Rei Rambam, Midarach Tshuva lios golem imkomo, shegalus mechaperes avon, mipnei shegoremes lo lihikanav lios anav v'shorach. Supposed to say there's so much stuff happening over here. So we'll leave that Rambam for just a moment, but he quoting over here the Rambam who says that the power of galus is that galus humbles. Right? So murder occurs because of kas. The murderer is then exiled. The chap of exile is that it humbles the individual. Now watch this. He goes on, he says, look in the brackets. Actually, we'll have to stop over here for today. We'll pick up Emir Hashem, so at least I whet your appetite a little bit with this. So I will say, but again, I would venture to say, there are a few yichidei skula, a few people who don't have to contend with kaas, who don't have to contend with anger on a daily basis. I would venture to say that for many of us, anger is something that we do have to contend with. And I think if we look at many of the greatest mistakes we've made in life, they're usually because of kaas. So to have an os here, Hatzaddik is going to tell us how to get a hold of this, and how to get a handle on this, and how to get a proper perspective on this. Emir Hashem is a great sukkos in the coming days. So we'll have to stop over here for today. But we'll pick up Emir Hashem. Now that we had the intro, we'll pick up with the meat and potatoes Emir Hashem tomorrow. It's great, it's great. Yes. I'm just checking my email for a moment.